ಸಂಸಾರದಾವಾನಲಲಿದಲೋಕ ತ್ರಣಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಘನ ಘನಾತ್ವಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣಾರ್ಣವಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭೋ ಕೀರ್ತನ ನಿತ್ಯ ಗೀತ ವಾದಿತ್ರಮಾದ್ಯಾನ್ ಮನಸೋ ರಸೇನ. ರೋಮಾಂಚಕಂಪಾಶ್ರುತರಂಗಭಾಜೋ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ಶ್ರೀವಿಗ್ರಹಾರಾಧನ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಾನಾ ಶೃಂಗಾರತನ್ಮಂದಿರಮಜನಾದೌ. ಯುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ತಾಂ ಶನಿಯಂಜತೋಪಿ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ಚತುರ್ವಿಧ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಗವತ್ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಸ್ವಾದನ್ನ ತೃಪ್ತಾನ್ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ಸಂಗಾನ್. ಕೃತ್ವೈವ ತೃಪ್ತಿಂ ಭಜತಃ ಸದೈವ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ಶ್ರೀರಾಧಿಕಾ ಮಾಧವಯೋರಪಾರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾಂ. ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣಾಸ್ವಾದನಲೋಲುಪಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ನಿಕುಂಜಯೂನೋ ರತಿಕೇಲಿಸಿದ್ಧೈ ಯಾಯಾಲಿಭಿರ್ಯುಕ್ತೈರಪೇಕ್ಷಣೀಯ. ತತ್ರಾತಿದಾಕ್ಷ್ಯಾದತಿವಲ್ಲಭಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ. ಸಾಕ್ಷಾಧರಿತ್ವೇನ ಸಮಸ್ತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೈ ಉಕ್ತಸ್ತಥಾ ಭಾವ್ಯತ ಏವ ಸದ್ಭಿಃ. किन्तु प्रभोय प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम्। यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायान्स्तुवं तस्य यशस्त्रीसन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah, Gopal Govinda Rama Sri Madhusudana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavat Gita, Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha, Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Sudarshan Chakra. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Om Shnu Pada Brahmamsa Pradikacharya Shtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Aparachana Rinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON PBTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shnu Pada Brahmamsa Pradikacharya Shtota Shata Shishmat His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेमी से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai, Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath-puri Dham ki jai, Shri Ayodhya Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Yamuna Mai ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Samavrita Bhaktavinda ki jai, Harinama Sankirtana ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narashinhaya. Prahlada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankana Kalaye. Ito na Singha Parato na Singha. Yato Yato Yamitato na Singha. Bahir na Singha, Ridahe na Singha. Narsingha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Advuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare. Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha. Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha. Jaya Narsingha Dev, Jaya Narsingha Dev, Narsingha Dev, Jaya Narsingha Dev. Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshwatacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavajaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshwatacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavajaya Namo Namaha. Vrindaya Tulasi Devaya Priyaya Keshwatacha Vishnu Bhakti Pade Devi Satyavajaya Namo Namaha. Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani ki Jai.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi Radha Krishna Seva Pavo Hey Abhilashi Ye tomara sharan loy Tara vancha purna hoy Kripa kori koro tare Vrindavana vasi Mora ye Abhilash Vilas kunja diyavar Nayane heri bo sada
युगल रूपरासी हे निवेदन दारो सकीरानुगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी तीना कृष्ण दासे कोई ये न मोर होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा ये न बासी यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पादे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री वृंदाये तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। श्री वृंदाये तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। श्री वृंदाये तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। श्रीमती वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
Thus within my vision shall behold the beautiful person Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow a Kara dancer's virtue. Please give me the privilege devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 offenses in the matter of chanting holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme devotees who have dedicated life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of the demigods, Lord Shiva or Brahma, to be equal and independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuing the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Veda the fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee claims Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer most humble obeisances on all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as deities who can fulfill everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shastakam ki jai. Jeto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam Shriya Gairava Chantrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Pudivardhanam Pratipadam Purunarmita Sadanam Sarvatamasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarvashaktis Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dudavami Disham Yahajani Nanurakaha Trinatapi Sunijena Tarorapi Saishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtan here Sadaharihi न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनीश्वरे भवता भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवां पुतो कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितदूरी सतीशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदाश्रुतारय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकनिश्चितं वपुर्गता तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशायितं शून्यायितं जगत् सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिषवा पादरतां पिन्नस्तु माम् अदर्शनां मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पतो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टकम की जय Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and the extinction fire of conditional life, repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads a rays and benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases ocean transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names I invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I am so unfortunate and have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more taller than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to commit wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Sahamarajnanda Krishna, I am eternal servitor, yet somehow I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the items at your lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears, love flowing constant when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up when hurts my body stand under recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation, I'm constant moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything, everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Aarti prayers ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namene Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desha Darine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuka Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Darine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasiddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipalambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namne Gaura Shakti Svarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virabhava Bhumistvam Nirdishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jaganathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurateshe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pangor Mama Mandar Mate Kati Masarvasva Padam Boju Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindadana Kalpajumadash Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shimadra Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaripi Sevyamano Smarami Shiman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastitaha Karsham Venu Sunergo Pir Gopinatha Shayestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishapanuste Devi Panamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalacharna Prayers Ki Jai Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadhyaradhya Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasukha Pariksha Lakshariteshu Surabi Rabi Palayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Konantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Parharvatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kantarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakalasa Vanamara Vamshi Ranankatam Panayakeli Kalavilasam Shamam Tipanga Lalitam Yata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Anganiyasya Sakalendira Rittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimme Satu Chila Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durabam Adurabam Atma Bhakto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu Koti Shatavassara Sampragamyo Vayurathapi Manaso Muni Pangavanam Sophiyasti Yapapada Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sora Chayitum Jagatanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagatanta Chayayatantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Bhavitatiyo Manuchastateva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasana Yana Pushaha Suktaryam Eva Nikama Patitai Stuvanti Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimme Rasa Patibhavitabis Tapya Evan Jarupa Taya Kalapihi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Buddho Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hidayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Sarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Akaro Puvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samapava Paramapumam Yo Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Krishna, who knows Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, has the eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I
I
worship,
wor-
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the eternal Purusha,
Who is the eternal?
and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of the blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama, by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis, who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman, by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands and millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessors thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe, at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
Okay. I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra shuktas told by the Vedas by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm Goloka with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidant Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyamasundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world, as in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., as a subjective portion.
Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta histo hi abhadrani vidinoti suhrit satam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttava sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye cheta eter anavidam sitam sattve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व समस्याः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एवात्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam And from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the harna of material affection, enables one to come at once to the stage of samshayam samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth, Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 37. Tam ayam manyate loko hi asangam apisanginam atmaupayena manujam vyapranvanam yato buddha. Tam, unto Lord Krishna, ayam, all these common men. Manyate, do speculate within the mind. Loka, the conditioned souls. Hai, certainly. Asangam, unattached. Api, in spite of. Sanginam, affected. Atma, self. Opamyena, by comparison with the self. Manujam, ordinary man. Vyapranavanam, being engaged in. Yataha, because. Abudha, foolish because of ignorance. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The common materialistic conditioned souls speculate that the Lord is one of them. Out of their ignorance, they think that the Lord is affected by matter, although he is unattached. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word Abudha is significant here. Due to ignorance only, the foolish mundane wranglers and misunderstand the Supreme Lord and spread their foolish imaginations amongst innocent persons by propaganda. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is the original primeval personality of Godhead. And when he was personally present before the eyes of everyone, he displayed full-fledged divine potency in every field of activities. As we have already explained in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is completely independent to act however he likes, but all his actions are full of bliss, knowledge and eternity. Only the foolish mundaners misunderstand him, unaware of his eternal form of knowledge and bliss, which is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. His different potencies work in a perfect plan of natural sequence, and doing everything by the agency of his different potencies. He remains eternally the supreme independent. When he descends on the material world by his causeless mercy to different living beings, he does so by his own potency. He is not subject to any condition of the material modes of nature, and he descends as he is originally. The mental speculators misunderstand him as the supreme person, and they consider his impersonal features an inexplicable Brahman to be all. Such a conception is also the product of conditioned life, because they cannot go beyond their own personal capacity. Therefore, one who considers the Lord on the level of one's limited potency is only a common man. Such a man cannot be convinced that the personality of Godhead is always unaffected by the modes of material nature. He cannot understand that the sun is always unaffected by infectious matter. The mental speculators compare everything from the standpoint of experimental knowledge of their own selves. Thus, when the Lord is found to act like an ordinary person in matrimonial bondage, they consider him to be like one of them, without considering that the Lord can at once marry 16,000 wives or more. Due to a poor fund of knowledge, they accept one side of the picture while disbelieving the other. This means that due to ignorance only, they always think of Lord Krishna as like themselves and make their own conclusions, which are absurd and unauthentic from the version of the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Etad Ishanam Ishaya Prakriti Stopi Tad Gunai na yujyate sadatmastir yata buddhista ashraya etat this Ishanam divinity. Ishaya of the personality of Godhead. Prakritista being in contact with material nature. Api in spite of. Tat gunai by the qualities. Na never. Yujyate is affected. Sada atma. Sada atmastai by those who are situated in eternity. Yata as is. Buddhi intelligence. Buddhihi intelligence. That the Lord. Ashraya those who are under the shelter of. Translation. This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Vedas and Vedic literatures, Shruti and Smriti, it is affirmed that in the divinity there is nothing material. He is transcendental, nirguna, only. The supreme cognizant, Hari, or the personality of Godhead, is the supreme transcendental person, situated beyond the range of material affection. These statements are also confirmed even by Acharya Shankara. One may argue that his relation with the goddess of fortune may be transcendental, but what about his relation with the Yadu dynasty, being born in that family? Or is killing the non-believers like Jarasandha and other asuras directly in contact with the modes of material nature? The answer is that the divinity of the personality of Godhead is never in contact with the qualities of material nature in any circumstance. Actually, he is in contact with such qualities because he is the ultimate source of everything. Yet he is above the actions of such qualities. He is known therefore as Yogeshwar, or the master of mystic power, or in other words, the all-powerful. Even his learned devotees are not affected by the influence of the material modes. The great 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan all came from greatly rich and aristocratic families. But when they adopted the life of mendicants at Vrindavan, superficially they appeared to be in wretched conditions of life, but factually they were the richest of all in spiritual values. Such Mahabhagavatas or first-grade devotees, although moving amongst men, are not contaminated by honor or insult, hunger or satisfaction, sleep or wakefulness, which are all resultant actions of the 3 modes of material nature. Similarly, some of them are engaged in worldly dealings, yet are unaffected. Unless these neutralities of life are there, one cannot be considered situated in transcendence. The divinity and his associates are on the same transcendental plane, and their glories are always sanctified by the action of Yoga Maya, or the internal potency of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are always transcendental, even if they are sometimes found to have fallen in their behavior. The Lord empathetically declares in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30 that even if an unalloyed devotee is found to be fallen due to a previous material contamination, he is nevertheless to be accepted as a fully transcendental because of his being engaged 100% in the devotional service of the Lord. The Lord protects him always because of his rendering service unto him. And the fallen conditions are to be considered accidental and temporary. They will vanish in no time.
Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 39. Tam me nire balamudaha strainam chanuvrittam rahaha apramana vidho bhartur ishwaram matayo yatha. Tam, unto Lord Sri Krishna, me nire, took it for granted, abalaha, delicate, mudaha, because of simplicity, strainam, of one who is dominated by his wife, cha, also, anuvritam, follower, rahaha, lonely place, apramana, vidaha, unaware of the extent of glories, bhartuhu, of their husband, Ishwaram, the supreme controller, mataya, thesis, yatha, as it is. Translation: the simple and delicate woman truly thought that Lord Sri Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Even the transcendental wives of Lord Sri Krishna did not know completely the unfathomable glories of the Lord. This ignorance is not mundane because there is some action of the internal potency of the Lord in the exchange of feelings between him and his eternal associates. The Lord exchanges transcendental relations in 5 ways: as proprietor, master, friend, son, and lover. And in each of these pastimes, he plays fully by the potency of Yoga Maya, the internal potency. He plays exactly like an unequal friend with the cowherd boys, or even with friends like Arjuna. He plays exactly like a son in the presence of Yashoda Mata. He plays exactly like a lover in the presence of the cowherd damsels, and he plays exactly like a husband in the presence of the queens of Dwaraka. Such devotees of the Lord never think of the Lord as the supreme, but think of him exactly as a common friend, a pet son, or a lover or husband very much dear to heart and soul. That is the relation between the Lord and his transcendental devotees, who act as his associates in the spiritual sky, where there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. When the Lord descends, he does so along with his entourage to display a complete picture of the transcendental world, where pure love and devotion for the Lord prevail without any mundane tinge of lording it over the creation of the Lord. Such devotees of the Lord are all liberated souls, perfect representations of the marginal or internal potency in complete negation of the influence of the external potency. The wives of Lord Krishna were made to forget the immeasurable glories of the Lord by the internal potency, so that there might not be any flaw of exchange, and they took it for granted that the Lord was a henpecked husband, always following them in lonely places. In other words, even the personal associates of the Lord do not know him perfectly well. So what do the thesis writers or mental speculators know about the transcendental glories of the Lord? The mental speculators present different theses as to his becoming the causes of the creation, the ingredients of the creation, or the material and efficient cause of the creation, etc. But all this is but partial knowledge about the Lord. Factually, they are as ignorant as the common man. The Lord can be known by the mercy of the Lord only, and by no other means. But since the dealings of the Lord with his wives are based on pure transcendental love and devotion, the wives are all on the transcendental plane without material contamination. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwaraka.
Birth of Emperor, Chapter 12, Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Text 1. Saunaka Vacha Ashvatamno Parishtena Brahma Shishnorutejasa Uttaraya Garbha Ishena Jivata Puna. Shaunaka Vacha, the sage Shaunaka said, Ashvatamna of Ashvatthama, the son of Drona, Upashritena, by release of Brahma Shishna, the inconceivable weapon, Brahmastra, Uru Tejasa, by high temperature, Uttarajya of Uttara, mother of Parikshit. Hata, being spoiled. Garbha, womb. Aisena, by the Supreme Lord. Ajivitaha, brought to life. Punaha, again. Translation. The sage Shaunaka said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwatthama. But Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Supreme Lord. Purport. The sages assembled in the forest of Naimisharanya inquired from Sutta Goswami from the birth of Maharaj Parikshit. But in the course of the narration, other topics like the release of Brahmastra by the son of Drona, his punishment by Arjuna, Queen Kunti Devi's prayers, the Pandavas' visit to the place where Bhishma Dev was lying, his prayers, and thereafter the Lord departure for Dwarka were discussed. His arrival at Dwarka and residing with the 16,000 queens, etc., were narrated. The sages were absorbed in hearing such descriptions, but now they want to turn to the original topic. And thus the inquiry was made by the inquiry was made by Shaunaka Rishi. So the subject of the release of the Brahmastra weapon by Ashwatthama is renewed.
Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 2. Tasya janma mahaputhe karmani cha mahatmana nidhanam cha yataivasit sapretya gatavanyata. Tasya, his, of Maharaj Parikshit, janma, birth, mahabudhi, of great intelligence, karmani, activities, cha, also, mahatmana, of the great devotee, nidhanam, demise, cha, also, yatha, as it was, eva, of course, asit, happened, sa, he, pretya, destination after death, gatavan, achieved, yatha, as it were. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. How was the great Emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death? The king of Hastinapur, now Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time of the son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother, so he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of a Brahmana. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power by Maharaj Parikshit, the first sign of misgivings was exhibited in the cursing of such a greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaj Parikshit. The king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend on him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahmana's son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaj Parikshit, and so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. Maharaj Parikshit is especially famous as one who is protected by Vishnu, and when he was unduly cursed by a Brahmana's son, he could have invoked the mercy of the Lord to save him, but he did not want to because he was such a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asked the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaj Parikshit knew that the curse of the Brahmana's son upon him was unjustified, as everyone else knew, but he did not want to counteract it because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun, and that the first symptoms of the age, namely degradation of the highly talented Brahmana community, had also begun. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. Being fortunate, he got at least 7 days to prepare himself to meet death. Utilize the time in the association of Sukadev Goswami, the great saint and devotee of the Lord.
Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 3. Tadidam shrotum vichamon gaditam yadi manyase bruhina shraddha dananam yashya jnanam nadachaka. Tad all idam this shrotam to hear, ichamaha all willing, gaditam to narrate, yadi if, manyase you think, bruhi please speak, na we, shraddhadanam who are very much respectful, yashya whose, jnanam transcendental knowledge, adat delivered, sukha Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Translation. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharaj Parikshit, to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharaj Parikshit during the remaining 7 days of his life. And Maharaj Parikshit heard him properly, just like an ardent student. The effect of such a bona fide hearing and chanting of Srimad Bhagavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and the chanter. Both of them were benefited. Out of the 9 different transcendental means of devotional service to the Lord prescribed in the Bhagavatam, either all of them or some of them or even one of them are equally beneficial if properly discharged. Maharaja Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami were serious performers of the first 2 important items, namely the process of chanting and the process of hearing. Therefore, both of them were successful in their laudable attempt. Transcendental realization is attained by such serious hearing and chanting and not otherwise. There is a type of spiritual master and disciple much advertised in this age of Kali. It is said that the master injects spiritual force into the disciple by an electrical current generated by the master, and the disciple begins to feel the shock. He becomes unconscious, and the master weeps for his exhausting his store of so-called spiritual assets. Such bogus advertisement is going on in this age, and the poor common man is becoming the victim of such advertisement. We do not find such folk tales in the dealings of Sukadeva Goswami and his great disciple Maharaja Parikshit. The sage recited Srimad Bhagavatam in devotion, and the great king heard him properly. The king did not feel any shock of electrical current from the master, nor did he become unconscious while receiving knowledge from the master. One should not therefore become a victim of these unauthorized advertisements made by some bogus representative of Vedic knowledge. The sages of Naimisaranya were very respectful in hearing about Maharaja Parikshita because of his receiving knowledge from Sukadeva Goswami by means of ardent hearing. Ardent hearing from the bona fide master is the only way to receive transcendental knowledge, and there is no need for medical performances or occult mysticism for miraculous effects. The process is simple, but only the sincere party can achieve the desired result.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 4. Suta vacha api pala dharma raja pitravadak agnayan praja nispraha sarva kamebhya Krishna padasu padanusevaya.
Suta Vacha. Sri Suta Goswami said, Apifalat, administered prosperity. Dharmaraja, King Yudhishthira. Pitravat, exactly like his father. Ranjayan, pleasing. Praja, all those who took birth. Nishpruha, without personal ambition. Sarva, all. Kamebhya, from sense gratification. Krishna Pada, the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Anusevaya, by dint of rendering continuous service.
Translation. Sri Sutta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhishthira administrated generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, Sri Krishna. Purport. By Tavangaras A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. As mentioned in our introduction, there is a need for the science of Krishna in human society for all the suffering humanity of the world. And we simply request the leading personalities of all nations to take to the science of Krishna for their own good. For the good of society and for the good of the people of the world. So it is confirmed herein by the example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the personality of goodness in India. In India, the people hanker after Rama Raja, because the personality of Godhead was the ideal king of all other kings or emperors in India, controlled the destiny of the world for the prosperity of every living being who took birth on the earth. Herein the word praja is significant. Its etymological import of the word is that which is born. On the earth there are many species of life, from the aquatics up to the perfect human beings, and all are known as prajas. Lord Brahma, the creator of the particular universe, is known as the Prajapati, because he is the grandfather of all who have taken birth. Thus praja is used in a broader sense than it is used. The king represents all living beings, the aquatics, plants, trees, reptiles, birds, animals, and man. Every one of them is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. BG point 14.4. And the king, being the representative of the Supreme Lord, is duty bound to give proper protection to every one of them. This is not the case with the presidents and dictators of the demoralized system of administration. When the lower animals are given no protection, while the higher animals are given so-called protection, but this is a protection. But this is a great science which can be learned only by one who knows the science of Krishna. By knowing the science of Krishna, one can become the most perfect man in the world. And unless one has knowledge in his science, all qualifications and doctorate diplomas acquired by academic education are spoiled and useless. Maharaj Yudhishthira knew the science of Krishna very well, for it is stated here that by the continuous cultivation of this science, or by continuous devotional service to the Lord,
to Lord Shri Krishna, he acquired the qualification of administering the state. The father is sometimes seemingly cruel to the son, but that does not mean that the father has lost the qualification to be a father. A father is always a father because he always has the good of the son at heart. The father wants every one of his sons to become a better man than himself. Therefore, a king like Maharaj Yudhishthira, who was the personality of goodness, wanted everyone under his administration, especially human beings who have better developed consciousness, to become devotees of Lord Krishna, so that everyone can be freed from their trifles of material existence. His motto of administration was all good for the citizens. For personified goodness, he knew perfectly well what is actually good for them. He conducted the administration on that principle, and not on the Rakshasi demonic principle of sense gratification. As an ideal king, he had no personal ambition, and there was no place for sense gratification because all his senses at all times were engaged in the loving service of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, which includes the partial service to the living beings, who form the parts and parcels of the complete whole. Those who are busy rendering service to the parts and parcels, leaving aside the whole, only spoil time and energy. As one does when watering the leaves of a tree without watering the root, if water is poured on the root, the leaves are enlivened perfectly and automatically. But if water is poured on the leaves only, the whole energy is spoiled. Maharaj Yudhishthira therefore was constantly engaged in the service of the Lord, and thus the parts and parcels of the Lord and living beings under his careful administration were perfectly attended with all comforts in this life and all progress in the next. That is the way of perfection management of state administration. That is the way of perfect management of state administration.
Text 5. Sampada krita voloka mahishi bharato brataro mahi jambudvi padipatyam cha yasascha tridvim gatam. Sampada, opulence. Kratava, sacrifices. Loka, future destination. Mahishi, the queens. Bratara, the brothers. Mahi, the earth. Jambudvipa, the globe or planet of our residence. Adipatyam, sovereignty. Cha, also. Yasha, fame. Cha, and Tridivam, celestial planets. Gatam, spread over. Translation. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaj Yudhishthira's worldly possessions, the sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, and his fame, etc. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Only a rich and great man's name and fame are known all over the world. And the name and fame of Maharaj Yudhishthira reached the higher plans because of his good administration, worldly possession, glorious wife Draupadi, the strength of his brothers Bhima and Arjuna, and his solid sovereign power over the world, known as Jambudvipa. Here the word loka is significant. There are different lokas or higher planets scattered all over the sky, both material and spiritual. A person can reach them by dint of his work in the present life, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.225. No forceful entrance is allowed there. The tiny material scientists and engineers who have discovered vehicles to travel over a few thousand miles in outer space will not be allowed entrance. That is not the way to reach the better planets. One must qualify himself to enter into such happy planets by sacrifice and service. Those who are sinful to every step of life can expect only to be degraded into animal life, to suffer more and more the pangs of material existence. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 16.19. Maharaj Yudhishthira's good sacrifices and qualifications were so lofty and virtuous that even the residents of the higher celestial planets were already prepared to receive him as one of them.
Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 6. Kim te kamaha sura sparha mukunda manaso dvija adijahrur mudham rajana kshuditasya yate tare. Kim, what for? Te, all those. Kamaha, objects of sense enjoyment. Sura, of the denizens of heaven. Sparha, aspirations. Mukunda manasa, of one who is already God conscious. Dvija, O Brahmanas. Adijahruhu, could satisfy. Mudam, pleasure. Rajna, of the king. Kshudistasya, of the hunger. Yatha, as it is. Itare, in other things. Translation: O Brahmanas, the opulence of the king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service. Purport: there are two things in the world which can satisfy living beings. When one is materially engrossed, he is satisfied only by sense gratification. But when one is liberated from the conditions of the material modes, he is satisfied only by rendering loving service for the satisfaction of the Lord. This means that the living being is constitutionally a servitor and not one who is served. Being illusioned by the conditions of the external energy, one falsely thinks himself to be the served, but actually he is not served. He is servant of the senses like lust, desire, anger, avarice, pride, madness, and intolerance. When one is in his proper senses by attainment of spiritual knowledge, he realizes that he is not the master of the material world, but is only a servant of the senses. At that time, he begs for the service of the Lord and thus becomes happy without being illusioned by so-called material happiness. Maharaja Yudhishthira was one of the liberated souls, and therefore for him there was no pleasure in a vast kingdom, good wife, obedient brothers, happy subjects, and prosperous world. These blessings automatically follow for a pure devotee, even though the devotee does not aspire for them. The example set herein is exactly suitable. It is said that one who is hungry is never satisfied by anything other than food. The whole material world is full of hungry living beings. The hunger is not for good food, shelter, or sense gratification. The hunger is for the spiritual atmosphere. Due to ignorance, only they think that the world is dissatisfied because there is not sufficient food, shelter, defense, and object of sense gratification. This is called illusion. When the living being is hungry for spiritual satisfaction, he is misrepresented by material hunger. But the foolish leaders cannot see that even the people who are most sumptuously materially satisfied are still hungry. And what is their hunger and poverty? This hunger is actually for spiritual food, spiritual shelter, spiritual defense, and spiritual sense gratification. These can be obtained in the association of the Supreme Spirit, Lord Sri Krishna, and therefore one who has them cannot be attracted by the so-called food, shelter, defense, and sense gratification of the material world, even if they are relished by the denizens of the heavenly planets. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita 8.16, it is said by the Lord that even in the topmost planet of the universe, namely the Brahmaloka, where the duration of life is multiplied by millions of years by earth calculation, one cannot satisfy his hunger. Such hunger can be satisfied only when the living being is situated in immortality, which is attained in the spiritual sky, far, far above the Brahmaloka, in the association of Lord Mukunda, the Lord who awards his devotees the transcendental